who recruit kids from all over the country. Oh, this should be good, right? But again, what I loved about it was the kids down here, they are tough, they will fight you, right, in a good way, right? We're trying to get that within the boundary of the rules of the game, right? But they will fight you, all right, and they are not afraid. So we go up there, and I don't have social media, right? So my wife knows this, and my Uncle Fred man knows this, and I think some of the people in the room knows. I don't deal with it. And why don't I deal with it, guys? What is it?
All noise.
It's all noise.
Yeah.
It can't help me help you. And if it can't help me help you, I don't need to hear about it. It's worthless. It's noise. So we're getting up there, and we're getting ready to play this team, and it looked pretty solid on tape, right? But they had no idea what was coming, right? Because we showed nothing of what we could do, and now we're actually preparing to win a football game, all right? And we're getting ready to pull into the parking lot up there, and I forget who it was. These guys know I don't like, people predict the scores for the week, and they're like, oh, well, they all start talking about, like, oh, this guy said, we're going to lose 31-7. And I'm like, you guys can talk about that all you want. I don't want to hear it. Doesn't help me. Doesn't help me help you. Doesn't motivate me. Doesn't do anything. And then one of them said, the guy that went to our Hodgson scrimmage thinks we're going to lose 65-0. And I was like, hold on. Like, for real? 65? He put that out somewhere? No, yeah. They think you're going to lose 65-0. And one of the things we've been talking about all summer, when we challenged them to do more, when we challenged, again, the parents to bring them to us so they would do more. When we did, we had so many kids coming that our wait staff was at the Cape Henlopen Open High School for 4 hours every day. We were there from 3 till 7. All right? Coach Eddie, Coach Dwight, Coach Zach, I mean, everybody in here, right? Coach Sammy was running conditioning. Right, Ben was back and forth. Zach was in the weight room. Right, I was staying out of the way trying not to screw stuff up. I had 9th graders. Then we just separated because we had so many kids. And we were talking all off season, well, won't they be surprised? Mm-hmm. Right? So we get off the bus up there. You could look at them, they were ready to play. And, again, you go back, it's 21-20, we're winning with 3 minutes to go. All right, and they made one more play than we did. And that's the game of football. All right. So again, no regrets. You guys laid it all out there on the line. It was a heartbreaking loss for the team, but at the same time, I think everybody knew from that moment forward we had the talent to beat anybody. All right. And what did we do from there? Well, that Monday of that game, by the way, we lost our defensive coordinator. Got sick and a high-risk category and had to leave the team. So there's this guy, Sammy Moore, 2-time captain, all right, and he was up here a minute ago. And I go to him on Monday and I say, hey, Coach Moore? And he's like, yeah. He's all fired up and he's like doing curls and he's like ready to roll. He's in there doing extra set and the kid, he looks good. And he's like, yeah, what's up? And I'm like, well, we don't have a defensive coordinator. And he's like, well, where's Coach McGee? And I said, Coach is fine. Everything's going to be okay. But he can't be around, our kids are like petri dishes of bacteria, which is great when you're young. But, he had agreed to join the staff, be a D coordinator for a couple of years until we had somebody elevate and take the role. So this guy, Coach Sammy Moore, got pushed into, he went from working at an insurance agency to the defensive coordinator at Cape Henlopen in like 3 months. Not even 2 months, maybe a month. All right, and I just couldn't have been more proud of how he connects with the kids, his vision for where we're going, the time he was putting in, right, for getting us prepared on defense. All right, and that was a team that gave up 28 points to Sally's, but again, had a chance to win. And we switched personnel, and we did some other things. And Sammy, we threw you in the deep end, and you did awesome. I mean, we're really, really proud of you. And I did want to throw that in there, because what did we do after the Sally's game? You guys went out and won 4 of your next 5. All right? With an average of 42 points a game. All right? You put your 4 on each side of your game. All right? I mean, that again, it wasn't the toughest part of our schedule, and you guys took full advantage of it, and again, you beat the people you were supposed to beat, right? You surprised a couple people that took you lightly, and then, we didn't play our best against Dover, all right? So that takes us to the final, right? Takes us to the Final Four. And I think when I'm looking back, right, this is where we're going as a program, and there's nothing more you guys could have done as a team, right? You did everything we asked you to do. We need more depth. We need more players, right? We need more people who can elevate, and it's coming, right? I don't know how quickly. Hopefully, it's here, right? But you guys, again, those guys that were starting, we have too many guys starting on both sides of the ball. We got a little bit nicked up and banged up, but you gave us everything you had. And what does that mean? And my uncle mentioned earlier, you get down 21-0 to Central. Right, you cut that to 28-14 with 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and hold them to 4th and 2. 4th and 2 on a 47-yard line. They go for it. All right, make one play, who knows? Right, we replaced the defensive back, slips and falls, who's there to make the play? Happens. It's football. Guy jumps over, runs down the field. That play becomes, instead of us getting the ball back, touchdown. Not any one person's fault. Not saying that. Right? I love that kid. I want that kid to make a lot of plays for us in the future. But it just happens. Like, right? More reps, more depth, all that stuff. And again, what I loved was the response. Like, we came right back. We were, moved the ball down the field. And then one of the things we talked to the kids about was, we're not here to keep it close. Right? So I don't know what you think. And if you're in the stands and your parents, you're like, why are they throwing the ball on their own 20 down 3 scores? Because it all counts the same. A 14-13 loss and a doggone, 42-14 loss count as one loss. We will not play shy. We will not be afraid. We will not run quietly. We will go after it until they blow the whistle. Right? I don't want to play to keep it close. I want to play to win for these kids. All right, so we went after it, we did some things, we went for on our own 19-yard line, and yeah, they put on another score, fine, whatever. You want to throw the ball on us when you're up 3 scores and all you got to do is stick a knee? Go ahead, we won't forget. Right? All right, so that was that one. Then we go to doggone Apple tied, 2 minutes to play. 14-14, and Sammy and the defensive staff did a great job, shut down the pass game. They had one guy carried 48 times. We knew what was coming. We were worn out. Again, could have gone either way. That's football, right? St. George, 21-19, right? 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. So there you go. 8 minutes, 3 minutes against Sally's, 3 minutes against Appo, right? There's your 7-3. Now maybe you don't win them all. Maybe you win 1. Maybe you win 2 out of 3. Maybe you win them all. But that's the difference from 4-6 and 7-3, a 5 seed, a 6 seed, a 7 seed, instead of the 8 seed. Although my proudest moment of the season came in our final game against Smyrna. All right, guys, and we've been talking a lot about life lessons through the game of football. And again, the team with more of the better players usually wins in any level. If they have more better players, they usually beat you, and you can surprise them every once in a while. You can upset somebody. And that's why we're going to go. We're going to get more people to play, and we're going to keep getting them better until we're the one that has the most best players on the field. Now, we had a lot of the best players, but we need more of them. All right? But there was some stuff going on out there that was not football. Right? And it was an opportunity for our guys to do one of 2 things. Take what they have learned the 9 weeks prior, right, plus the 3 weeks of preseason, plus what we did in the offseason, the 6 weeks of the offseason program, right? So somebody with great math, 18 weeks together. It was time to make a decision. Are we going to do what they do and late hits and yelling stuff that's not appropriate and getting in ref spaces and have coaches losing their minds and doing all that stuff? Or are we going to play the game? And we're going to play it right. We're going to play it hard through the whistle. All right? And basically, our guys played with such great character. And I'm telling you, I've been in these games before. It is hard to do what your kids did, which was take the high road, show great character, show that the life lessons that they've been learning, they can apply outside of what's going on. And some of you could say, yeah, man, I wish they would have, we'd have taken their knees out and we'd have put our hands under the kid's face mask and went for their eyeballs. And we would absolutely 100% disagree with that philosophy. Your kid said, we're good. We didn't get a single penalty. We didn't get an extra. We didn't get engaged in their mess. And I told them after the game, in my opinion, that was a win. It was a win in life. Right? It wasn't necessarily a win on the field. And you can say, well, yeah, that, you might think differently. But to me, what it was the culmination of the stuff we've been talking to them about, and them actually putting the action together and making sure that they did it. So again, a couple of real quick things, and I'm done here. I look at the season as very successful. You could say 4-6, right? JV 6-2, right? 9th grade 5-3, and you can have your own opinions about wins and losses. But what I see is, these guys talked about burn the ships, right? And that was the Cortez story. So they want to look it up, know what it means. But they understood that we were never going to retreat. We were going to go forward. We were going to play our best, and whatever happens, happens. And we're going to play it the right way. All right, we had 10 seniors all at that table, all played significant roles. I love that. They had gone on 3 months we had a couple of firsts. All right, we had late refs didn't show up, and these guys handled that against William Penn, and all I heard was them walking back and forth being like, it's all noise, we'll play when they're ready. And just the kind of stuff, it's all noise, it's all good. Like the kind of stuff they're taking away was amazing. All right, we had an incident, we had to discuss, we sat the team down, we talked about treatment of women. So again, life lessons through the game of football. All right, I'll end with this one. I gave maybe the worst pregame speech in the history of modern day football. All right, I lost a teammate, and a guy by the name of Tyrone Davis. We were teammates together. We both started 40-some games together. He was a receiver, and we were same recruiting class. And then he had to go to Fort Union for a year to qualify, and I redshirted. And we came back in. He's a friend, and I wanted to talk to them about not ever knowing. Right? You never promised tomorrow, whether it be in life or in sports or in whatever you're doing. And I went through this in my head, and it was all about the fact that we're just going to play free. And we're just going to have fun and play free and cut it loose. And about a minute into it, right, I'm bawling my eyes out. I can't even speak. And I make Coach Zach look like a serious guy, like in the office. Like I'm bawling. Like I don't even remember like how we finished and how we got onto the field. And all I know is those kids came over, and before I even know what happened, we were on the field, and I got players saying, "We got you, coach." And I was like, "What the heck is going on, man?" Like these 15, 16, 17-year-old young men are like lifting me up, and I'm like, "All right, I think I'm in the family." All right, it's pretty cool. So to me, great season. Again, I go beyond the wins and losses, and I just can't thank you all enough for letting me be a part of it. All right? So, let's go back to All right, now, nothing, again, it's all about the players. These kids are special. We're going to hand out all your stuff, so again, walk up, walk back down. You can hold your applause to the end. I'm not going to talk about each and every one of them. Again, we would be here forever. I'd be happy to do that one-on-one, so I don't have to go to my real job. All right, Jaden Messick. All right, Thomas Messick. CJ. All right, Keyshawn Mansfield. Wilson, come up this way and around. LT. Gosh almighty, it's like running the wrong route. Let's go. All right, Brent Scott. Yeah! All right, Buckeye James. Dean Sunshine, Texas McQuez, as I like to call him. Not here, right? No, don't worry, he missed picture day too. Mackay Savage. Josh Thomas. Joko Lusky. Lucas Stevenson. Augustine Meek Mill. And just so you guys know, I had a thing scheduled because I really think at the end of going 90-7, we came together as a team. We were going to run the tar out of them. And I said, if one of you is willing to get up and sing for us, which again makes no sense. I mean, I get it. Like, all your parents that are like, why would you ever do that? I was like, if somebody will get up and sing, we're done. Like, we're going to call it a day, and we try to break up some of this, and they were hot, and they were miserable, and everyone starts pointing at Gus. And they're like, Gus will do it, Gus will do it. And I'm like, Gus, you got something for us? And he's like, I'm from Philly. I'm like, yeah, I'm from Philly. I'm like, what do you got? I got a little Meek Mill Meek, what's the guy's name? Meek Mill. I got a little Meek Mill for you. And he stands up and he starts whatever this was, rapping and I'm like, and then all of a sudden the guys get and they're dancing and there's like the riggy going on. We got doggone 55 kids out there, and I'm sure at that moment, right, one of our administrators looked out the office and was like, oh no, like this is going badly. But in my mind, we were there. We were ready. So I was going to have Gus do that tonight, and then he explained to me some of the lyrics. We actually were going to do that for you all because we wanted you to experience the game, like what it's like being there with us. And then Gus said, even if I cut out the bad words, this is not a good idea. I said, well, that's not the program we're trying to build. So unless you know, like Stand By Me or something, we're going to keep going. Staginator. All right, Lamar McCoy, Jack Payne, AJ Mosley, Jackson Cunningham. All right, Dell Richards, Damon Wise, Brandon Woods, and Mikey T, that we brought you up for 9th grade. We brought you up, so you already got your stuff, but come on up in it. We still have 3 games to go. We had a couple injuries at the quarterback position. He came up and did a double duty for us. Haley Rogers. By the way, I think in Fredrick